Before we get into the rapid fire questions to end this, last thing I want to talk about is kind of social money. And it's something that when you said earlier about like the idea of creators launching these NFTs and value almost accruing as a creator or an individual becomes more popular, more valuable, however you want to kind of measure it. It feels like there's some movement in this social money space. It hasn't really kind of taken off. It hasn't reached kind of any level of mainstream adoption from what I've noticed. But like, what are your thoughts there? And is that something that would be competitive kind of with NFT? Is that a complementary thing? Is it binary? Like, hey, one of them wins, one of them doesn't? Just how do you kind of view social money in comparison to everything else we've talked about today?
Yeah. So maybe I'll start out with a definition because I think it means different things to different people. So the way I think about social money is it's a person sort of issuing a token that represents themselves, right? So like Pomp coin would be an example of social money. Now the question is, what is the value of Pomp coin? And then it's I think it's whatever value you give to it, right? Maybe it's access to spend an hour with you, cost 10 Pomp coin or something like that. So it's a really interesting idea that I think there's a lot of fertile ground for experimentation there, right? Because like again, it's all about aligning incentives between creators and their audience. That's what NFTs do. You buy something from a creator. Now you own it. You can resell it if their profile grows at a profit, right? So the alignment of incentives is what's driving the growth in this ecosystem. Social tokens offer that same promise. The question that I think is still open-ended for a lot of projects that are experimenting here is what is uniquely enabled by owning social money? Like, what does the token actually unlock in terms of an interaction or value? And so we haven't seen anyone quite nail it yet. Some folks are saying it should be a financial relationship, like kind of similar to the concept of an ISA, an income sharing agreement, where essentially I'm backing you as a creator. I get a cut of all your revenue streams. So not unlike a record deal or a sports contract or something like that, right? But that has lots of implications that are legal and so we haven't seen a ton of experimentation on the financial side. Other folks come at it from more the angle of like, it's the new fan club, right? Like you used to buy a membership to an artist fan club. It would get you merch. It would get you access to, backstage at the show. And social money is the way to do that. It's just a fan club with a floating market price, which again, gives you that incentive alignment that makes your fans into super fans. I don't think this idea is mutually exclusive with the concept of NFTs. In fact, I think it's quite complementary. Like you could imagine that, owners of your social money get first dibs to buy an NFT that you issue, or the other way around, holders of your NFT are given some social money, because they're already your biggest fans. They bought your work, right? And then they get access to whatever the social tokens enable. So I think we will see the confluence of these two things come together. But the reason I think NFTs are having their moment first is that the interaction model between creator and audience is well understood. I'm buying your work. That's something like we understand really well. Whereas the social money interactions are sort of new and unfamiliar. And so there's got to be a lot more experiments run before something catches.